Search hip mobility online, you will find hundreds of thousands of videos. Some are 5 minutes long, some are seconds long, some have got 20 different movements, some are 3-month courses. But it doesn't always mean that more exercises equals better hips. But the problem is, more exercises doesn't equal better movement. In order to improve movement, we have to work on movement itself. If I could choose 5 movements to help someone improve how they move their hips, then these would be them. And stay until the last one, because that's the one that tends to bring everything together. Also helps to make the other ones make sense. And pay attention, it's the principle of the movement that is as important as the movement itself. First, we're going to start off with pelvic rotations. Remember, the pelvis contains the socket of the hip. So we need to orientate the pelvis in a way for the hip to sit underneath it. The pelvis can rotate in multiple directions. The one we're most familiar with is rolling backwards and forwards. Now the principle here is go as far as what is easy. Don't push it, don't force it. We can then take this pelvic rotation into the transverse plane. This is rotation. So this is where one side comes up, the other side goes down, and then the other direction. Second move, the side lying thigh slide. So you can have your hand on the floor to give you the upper body feeling secure. The intention is to rotate the pelvic on the upper body. Again, slow, smooth movement. As I go forwards, I get that sense of ease. Only go as far as what is easy. On the backwards, it's like the hip is drawing the knee into the hip itself. And you might find that the groin of the upper leg wants to grip to pull the pelvis round. All these other bigger muscles that have been guarding and holding on, like the hip flexor, even the glute, the TFL, those guys can have a rest while we find these deep hip and pelvic stabilisers. Move number 3 is the quadruped rollback. So start with weight on hands and knees, but the majority of the weight is going to come through the knees, the hips and the pelvis. I like to use a mirror just to help guide me a little bit, because what we will look at here is as the hips start to bend, some people automatically go into back extension, and that's why sometimes hip and back pain travel together. What we're looking for is this sinking movement into the hip as it bends, and the back doesn't have to do anything. Then we come out of that position and then we go again. Find that sinking into the hip, nice and relaxed in the upper body. You might find a little bit of pinching in the front. If that's the case, just check that there's no guarding, you're not tensing, bracing, holding the floor, feet are relaxed. And then again, think about the hip moving backwards, sinking into the socket. We don't need to go any further back. We don't need to keep going. The back does open up there, that's normal. But we're just working to this range, the one that comes easiest, and then coming away. We're doing 8 reps. I'll see if I can do a little bit more without the mirror. So I'm using a little bit more of my internal GPS. Move number 4 is the dynamic hip mobiliser. Now we get to mobilise the front and the back hip at the same time. One into bending, into flexion, and one into straightening, which is extension. The mirror is going to give you that view of both at the same time. But I've got to emphasise this. This is not about tucking the pelvis or stretching the hip flexor. This is about teaching the hips open in different directions. So as I'm moving forwards, one has to open at the back and one has to open at the front. We're only going to go as far as what's easy. We're not pushing this, we're not forcing it. I get a lot of people to start with their hands here and the body as relaxed as possible as we simply slide onto the front foot with an emphasis of hip to heel. I'm going down. Static lunge rotation. So I come down towards the floor, I rotate over the front leg. It's a downward movement. I drop down as I rotate over. The weight is biased to the front leg, but I have about 70%, 30%. But I'm not 50-50, I'm not sat back. My back calf is not doing a lot of work, but it is doing something as I drop down and rotate. This is the movement that most people skip. It's also the one that brings it all together. Can I drop down whilst managing load and more complex movement? There's more elements. It is a higher load. The demand is greater, but the payoff is greater still. So if you wanted to put this into a simple routine, it would look like this. Pelvic rotations, forwards and backwards, 8 reps each direction. Pelvic rotations, side to side, 8 repetitions, forwards and backwards on both sides. So count to 16. The side lying thigh slide, 8 reps forwards, 8 reps backwards. The quadruped rock back, 8 repetitions, nice and smooth. The dynamic hip mobiliser, again, I would work with 8 repetitions on each side. Now for the static lunge rotations, I might do 3 or 5 repetitions, which reflects the demand of the movement. And then I would repeat the whole thing again one more time. So 1 set round from each movement, and then the second set round again from top to bottom. And then just compare what that final static lunge rotation feels like after completing the circuit. If you've made it this far, then please let me know in the comments below. Which was your favourite exercise? Which was your least favourite? And if you find this stuff as fascinating as I do, and you want to learn more about how your body moves and how we can improve the way that it moves, then consider subscribing. And I'll see you here next time.